I think we can get started. Okay, great. Thank you. First of all, thank you everyone for joining in today. The agenda for today's session is to showcase one of our portfolio companies, BricsPack. This session will be carried out by the founder of BricsPack, Mr. Viresh Seth. Um, he will be walking us through BricsPack's capabilities and some of the case studies and companies that they have worked with. This session will be broken down into two parts, wherein the first part will be the walkthrough for 20 to 25 minutes, which will be followed by a Q&A session just to keep this interactive, wherein all attendees can get their doubts cleared. We would request you to use the chat function to get any doubts clarified during the session. I will also be circulating a few links in the chat, including the BricsPack microsite, so that you can take a look at their solution offerings in brief while the showcase is also going on. If you feel this solution is of any interest or any of their offerings are of interest to you, we would be happy to facilitate a one-to-one connect as well after this call, for which I will be sharing my personal contact details. With that, I think we can get started. Just to notify all of you, this will be a recorded session and will be uploaded on our platform. And yeah, I'd like to hand it over to Mr. Viresh to give a quick introduction of himself and the company. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can see the screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good afternoon. It's a bit hard. Post-lunch session are always hard because after having a nice summer lunch, it is difficult to keep awake and attentive to the thing, but I will try to make it as interesting as possible. So just to run through a small presentation, which we made for today's session. I'm Viresh Seth. I'm the founder of BricsPack India Private Limited, and before founding this, BricsPack, I have a 35 years of experience in the labeling and flexible packaging domain, where our parent company, Chris FlexiPack, started way back in 1985. After Chris FlexiPack, we also ventured into a joint venture, which is called Chris Automated Packaging System India Private Limited, which is very unique solutions to the bagging system, where instead of FFS, we offered an OFS solutions, which was very unique for the country. But we stick to the today's subject of BricsPack. Just to give another small background, we already served 25 odd industries, and we have a unique 100 plus case studies, which we can, and a few of them I will share today. And as I mentioned already in my previous talk, that 10 years of our material, machine and service concept offered by the Chris Automated was unique. With that background, I will start our today's topic, which is how does the modern warehouse looks like. So to just give a small brief, I will choose one representative video, which will give, if you visit any of your today's warehouse, the warehouse will somehow look like this today. So can you see the video?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say, if you just go back 20 years back, the only when you say warehouse, then this is only a building and at the most some few racks and some material handling equipments. But today's modern warehouse does not have that basic, but it has advanced a lot and having many things which we'll cover up in this session. Before we go there, I wanted to just uh, you know define the role of conveyors, because the conveyors is one of the most important element in the warehouse segment. So I wanted to focus more on the conveying rather than an overall warehouse, because warehouse itself is a very big subject. It will take one full day, but just to cover up in next 15-20 minutes, I believe we will focus more on the conveyors, which is also our main focus area. So at today's time, 70% of the total automation spent in any of the warehouses on the conveyor. So that is an amazing fact. And actually conveyor is an endless usage, starting from unloading material movement, sorting, sortation, packing, auto check, auto weigh, auto dimension reading, repacking, taping, strapping, print and apply, barcode, scanning, loading, unloading, everything. So it is an unlimited possibility where conventionally the conveyor being told only to bring the material from point A to point 2. That is no more true now. The conveyor can do much more than the just conveying from point 1 to point A to point B. So to name a few advantages of the conveyor, whenever you put a conveyor in any manufacturing or warehouse space, they bring a lot of efficiency and time saving because of the speed at which they work. And it moves between the multiple levels also. It's not just horizontally at one level. It can go horizontal, vertical, incline, decline, all the levels it can work. So that is another advantages. And then transporting bulk material. From some few of the material over than 25 kilo weight, you can't carry, people cannot carry by themselves. So good conveyor helps move the bulk material from point A to point 2. It also reduces the human fatigue, errors, and breakages. It continuous process because it's a machine, it can work 24/7. Many value-added automation is possible. Most cost-effective among all alternate automations. So there are many automations around conveyors, but conveyor brings a very vital role. So that's why when you go to any modern warehouse, 70% of the automation you see as a moving conveyors, and it can also customize and install easily because we have few of the modular conveyor. So if you ask for that modular conveyor, we can within a week we can install in the entire warehouse. So it is as fast as that. So it can be very installed very quickly and can be upgraded with the new technology also very quickly and allow movement of objects that are too heavy or too bulky or too delicate for humans to carry by hand and provides flexible and agility and enhance the quality control. So these are the few advantages of the conveyors in the manufacturing and warehouse space. So when we see what are the different type of the conveyors currently used, so you can see there are list of conveyors which are as basic as chute. You must have seen stainless steel and MS chutes, from the mezzanine floor to the ground, just by the gravity, it brings the material down. That is as basic as chute. Then it starts with the skate wheel conveyor, which is also a basic conveyor, which has a round skate wheel. So it allows smooth transition of cartons from one place to another place. Then there are gravitational conveyor, so which can operate on a gravitational force without motors. Then there are belt conveyors, different type of the belt conveyors, which can work at a different usages. And flexible motorized roller conveyor is becoming increasingly popular these days because it's a lot of benefits out of that conveyor, because there are three basic benefits you gain when you install flexible motorized roller conveyor. Because first of all, it is flexible, so you can take shape, it can take any dimension, and it can go first. Second, it can contract and retract. So the 6-meter conveyor after use can become 3 meter and can be parked anywhere. And third is it requires a very less electric power. So whole conveyor can be run by a 15 ampere socket and less than 1 kilowatt of connected load. So that can run 6 meters and 50 kilo per running meter. So flexible motorized roller conveyor is very good in use these days. Few of the consumers are also using magnetic belt conveyors. There are some chain conveyors, sled conveyors, incline and decline conveyors to move powder or any parts. You can also use bucket conveyors. Then there are vertical conveyors. So we'll also share some of the videos of vertical conveyors, how they look like and how they have been used. There are also spiral conveyors. So if through gravity, if you want to bring any carton or box from any level, the mezzanine level or first level or second level, you can easily use spiral conveyors. Then there's a VRC conveyor, VRC vertical reciprocating conveyor. So you can move pallets and boxes through the vertical reciprocating conveyors on the vertical heights. Then so there are also conveyors used for sortation. So there are a couple of sortation conveyors are also used in the industry. There are there is a telescopic belt conveyor. So telescopic is a very unique solutions which gives us 6 different features. First of all, it can actually run forward and reverse. So you can load or unload, first function. Then secondly, it can retract and contract so that you can move forward and backward. And then it can go up and down. So as you keep loading on a higher heights, the telescopic helps you to bring the material to the arm length distance. So telescopic belt conveyors are also being used very excessively in the industry these days. I have seen a warehouse having 40 or 30 telescopic in just one warehouses. So this is the type of the use has gone up. And there are also auto weigh check and DWS system where you can actually check the weight and the dimension together so that the charges of the freight can be charged accordingly. So these are the different type of the conveyors available and used in the market, and we make all of this. To give you a few case study, just to start with a very basic, this is a very basic skate wheel conveyor, so which transports from the truck without any motor, without anything, right from truck to the, as the truck gets unloaded, it goes inside, and material can be easily moved to the this, and it doesn't require any guard on the side. It is just a very basic conveyor, and it gets retract 4 times. So the 4 meter conveyor becomes just the 1 meter, and you can park anywhere wherever there's a space. So this is a very basic conveyor we start with, and then we start with the FMRC, which I told you, very agile and very flexible, good conveyor, which you can keep anywhere for loading or from internal transportation, and it is motorized. So the motor will drive to all the way up to 40-foot container, and it helps you to load the container very easily. So this also becomes 2 meter becomes 1 meter. So the 6 meter conveyors actually becomes 1 meter, and you can also give a different shape, and it can take a 90-degree. It can, it can handle 50 to 100 kilo per running meter. So these are few loading operations happening at our customer's place. So this is called a flexible motorized roller conveyor. Then this is actually incline and decline conveyor. The first one is decline and another one is incline, where in any building, if there is a multi-level operations, you can install incline and decline. This can do both at the same time. This you see the 90-degree turn, and then another 90, so 180-degree turn, and it goes down to the multi-levels and up to the loading point. So if the material is stored on the second floor, you can easily bring these things, and if the material is to be stored on the top mezzanine, the second video shows how it can be done. Then there's, as I told you, the spiral conveyors. This is also good in use. So when the lifts are being used, sometimes lifts has some problem, or some goods are just to bring where to bring down, and the movement is only from top to bottom. So the spiral is very useful, because again, it doesn't consume any electricity. It does not, and it also goes to the multi-level. If you see on every, it covers every level. So you can unload the goods from third to second, second to first, first to mezzanine, mezzanine to ground. So all level it travels without any power or any motor, and finally, it takes just the very minimal space and minimum investment. So this is very useful and very cost-effective solutions, and it helps when especially when the electricity is not there in the unit, or it is just to bring only from top to bottom. This is a very unique solution. So we call it as an O conveyor. So where you have a limited space, you can put either a carton box or any bucket, anything, and it can go from bottom to top, or you can bring top to bottom. Either way, it works all the way, and then you can actually transport the goods at any level. It requires a very less space, and it is very efficient, because if you see now, the same bucket is being transported without any people on the next level. Now you can see that this conveyors, yes. So it gets unloaded at any level like this. So every level has this type of the conveyor, so that wherever you want to get unload, just put it on, and it will get unloaded there. Or if you want to place it anywhere, you can easily place from any level. This is a telescopic belt conveyor I was talking about. So telescopic belt conveyor has a forward and reverse belt. It also can count. You can add a lot of features in this, like barcode scanner, barcode reading, and the boomer can go inside whatever 20 feet, 40 feet, whatever type of the container you have. It can go. It can be designed from 9 meter to 11 to 13 to 18 meters. So 18 meters can easily fill 40-foot containers within 1/3 of the time and without much fatigue. And this can go up and down. So as they place cartons on the higher row, they don't have to lift from the bottom. And so this is a very unique solution. We also have the solutions which allows manless operation where unloading is done through the gantry system. And in that case, like a traditional like robo, you don't have to lift just one carton, but it takes all the cartons in the row, no matter it is 16 carton or the 10 carton or 1 carton or 4 cartons. It actually takes all the cartons through the vacuum cup, and then it actually passes on one by one so that a person can easily load the truck. And this the ideal speed for such type of the application is around 30 cartons a minute. So it can go as good as 30 cartons. So you can see the trucks can get loaded within no time. So this is a singulator conveyor. This is with 2x gantry with singulator conveyor and the telescopic conveyor put together. And this operation is completely automatic. There's no people required to load the truck, only except at a loading point inside the truck. So in this case, it takes up all the cartons, but in case there's only few cartons on the row, still it doesn't matter. It will take the even few cartons and it can still put it on a conveyor. So this is a very unique solutions we develop for one of our customer. So if you really see choosing of the conveyor actually plays a very ideal role. So if you wanted to choose which conveyor works for what, then you have to really see that ideal conveyor system must be having the first of all operational safe environment. So operationally, if there is no operationally safe environment, then it is no fun placing any conveyor within the warehouse. So there should be enough space and enough safety parameters within the installation space so that the conveyor works nicely. And then it has to be very energy efficient, because if the people can do at the same speed and if the things can happen with the without any much this thing, then there's no fun placing the conveyor. So it has to be really operational friendly and energy efficient. That means the electricity used in the conveyors is so less that it does not amount to a recurring expense. So it has to be really energy efficient. Then it has to be very reliable, because once you place the conveyor, your people's dependence is less. So if you don't have the people and the conveyor doesn't work, then you are in trouble. So it has to be really reliable, and the parts and components has to be engineered to last, so that it works very well and it doesn't give a lot of downtime. It should also be very adaptable to the changing needs. So it should not be just like a one way that it does a similar work, but it should be having a lot of adaptation to the changing needs. So flexible conveyor, our flexible conveyor gives this adaptation very fast. Few of our conveyors gives a very good results when the scenario changes. You have to move one conveyor to one place to another place, or you wanted to have a 90-degree turn or 180-degree turn. The flexible conveyors and gravitational conveyors works very well in that environment. And it is, of course, it is in India, everything boiled down to the cost. So unless the solution is not cost effective, it doesn't give ROI within 3 to 4 years. There is no fun putting the investment into the system. So most of the conveyors gives the ROI. We always give the ROI together. Whenever we accept the project, we make the worksheet of the ROI, and we make sure that if the ROI does not exceed 36 months. So most of our ROI comes within the 2 years, 2 to 2.5 years. So ROI is very important when the selection of the conveyor is this, and that's why I always say that experienced people and expert people can make a big difference rather than anything new who has not done enough job. They cannot put a justice to the automation need. So you have to have an experienced and expertise player like a BricsPack to have the solutions. So just to summarize what we do in the warehouse automation space, these are the 8 solutions we do in the warehouse space, where our journey starts from loading, unloading, then conveyors, then vertical lifting and storing and sortations, any type of the sortations for e-commerce, then end of the line if you are in a manufacturing space, and also packing and assembly if you are in a manufacturing space, and pick and place, either in warehouse or into the manufacturing space. And recently we also added our cleaning solutions as one of the solutions. So our journey starts with the problem statement. We are the best people if you have the problem. If you don't have the problem, we are not the right people. So if you have any of such defined problems to do with the loading, unloading to the conveyor, the lifting, storage, sortation, or end of the line, or pack and assembly, or pick and place, or cleaning solutions, we are the best people because we understand this subject very nicely. Our experience matters a lot in offering the solutions, and we have hundreds of references and case studies to run through so that you become confident that this works very well in any manufacturing on warehouse environment. So with this, we want to just give you a brief of whom we work with. We work with most of these industries, no matter it is manufacturing, where no matter it is 3P, 4P, logistic companies, or the warehouse companies, or any e-commerce, any electronic, any cables and any rail and road forwarders, any automotive companies. So these are the customers which we work with, and I'm open to run through anything which you might not have, you might need a little more information, or you might have some query about. So I believe, thank you very much for your patience hearing, and now I'm open for any questions you might have for me.
Thank you, Mr. Harish. This was really insightful. We can open to Q&As for all attendees. Yeah. So okay, we have two questions. One is on which industries are your customers from? I guess you just covered that.
Yeah.
And second thing is, do you have customers from elevator industries?
Elevator industries. Unfortunately, not yet. But I will check with my marketing people whether we have ever worked before, or we have any live inquiry currently for elevator companies. But to the best of my knowledge, we don't have yet work, but we can certainly work. So we have to have a problem statement. Our work starts only with the problem statement. So if anyone has a problem statement within, I'll just keep this slide on so that people can really ask the questions, if any. Anything to do with the load, because these are the activities where our observation says that there's most of the manpower dependency is there. And there people wants to bring a lot of efficiency and a lot of improvement in the process.
Got it. All the attendees, you can also unmute and ask your questions. And then
yeah, I mean, for doing say a pilot before embarking on a large implementation, what does it take to do a pilot, timelines and typical costs or requirements from the customer?
Our process works like this. For example, if you are looking forward for some sort of improvement or solutions, you invite us at your site. We come with our team. We make an assessment, and based on assessment, we offer you the required solutions. So once you agree to that required solutions, we actually do a pilot, or we call it in our terms, we call it as a POC, proof of concept, that whatever we are saying, we will show you at your side in your working environment with your people in a small way, so that at least you understand, and that time and the cost depends upon the challenge you offer to us. So unless we know what challenge it is and what problem statement it is not easy for me to answer. Most of the time, if there is a standard solution, so we don't charge other than the freight. But if we have to develop something only for that industry, we might have to charge a very nominal cost to just demonstrate that it is working. So it is very much possible, sir. I hope I have answered you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you for that. Anyone else? Any other questions?
Yeah, I was just to add to what I was asking. I mean, what are the other warehousing automation solutions you have, or have you done any integrations with, say, other solutions which maybe others may be offering these days? So these were two key things which I wanted to know.
I think it's a fairly large gamut we are working, and we wanted to keep focus on things which are shown on the screen. So we are currently working on a 9 problem statements or opportunities where we are very much occupied, and we are really happy that people have these challenges. But in case you find anything other than what we have seen on the screen, you are most welcome to let us know that what are the other challenges you might have, because there are something which we do and there are some things which we don't do. So anything to do with the software, or anything to do with the WMS, or any these things we don't do, because we are not experts in that. We are more on a mechanical side. So we are more working towards something which requires the equipments and process together. So we wanted to keep our focus on this, and mostly on conveying solutions. So our company mostly works around conveying solutions. So if you see my slide, everything is a conveyor. Every single thing as a part of that is a conveyor. Conveyor and solutions around conveyors. And that is the most needed solutions as on date. 70% of the, as I told you in my first slide, 70% of the any warehouse investment other than the land and building goes into the conveying these things. If you take any example, like you go to any Amazon, Flipkart, or Myntra, these things, they will have all these solutions, what I have seen in my screen. There's not a single solutions which they don't have in their warehouse. And same with the manufacturing space. But we don't do the process automation and all that.
Got it. So you're saying that even in the pick and place, if I see robotics, gantry, AGV, AMR, all that is what you actually is part of your use case.
Yes.
Got that. So, I mean, is there anything related to, say, this talk about intelligent robots, or it's something that when you process the robot itself for a process, that itself the intelligence gets built in? If you can throw some light.
We have an AI-based robot, so that is called smart robo, and even we have a smart AMR, where if, for example, it requires a battery charging, they will do it themselves. They will not have any software requirement. It is already built in a way with AI where if the battery is at certain level, it will engage a alternate AMR and it will go for charging, and it will make on the work when it's ready. So they are all smart AMR, AGVs, and smart robots, which is built with the AI system. So we work with our AI partners and we make it smart.
Oh, nice to know. Appreciate. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
So for a cement industry per se, can you throw some of the case studies or use cases which you feel for cement manufacturing or
Yeah, the
construction?
cement industry, actually, we have done a wonderful work. Uh, the company name is Wallplast, which makes the cements putty, the white putty material. So they have a very unique problem statement that they have a huge volume to be loaded every day. They must be loading at least 30 to 40 trucks, and they were doing all manual with the forklift and with the people. And then if possible, I'll just share, I need to share that video later on with the gentlemen, and they will share with you, or we can share directly with you if you give us the contact detail. And in that, we gave them the unique telescopic tail, where with the telescopic conveyor there's a tail. So which the telescopic limitation is it can go only straight. But here we develop a tail which can actually cover the 8 feet distance, the width of the truck. So you will be amazed to see that video that when the truck is loaded, no human interface is there. The tail conveyor actually unloads the bag in such a way that it covers the entire 8 feet of the width of the truck and 20 feet of the length just by directing the tail. So that's a very unique solutions we designed for the cement industry for the loading, because cement is most of the things are automatic. They don't need most of this. We can only do some forklift or some sort of pelletizing solutions or some type of the loading solutions. These are a few things because cement industry does not use most of the other solutions because they are very bulk and they are very big in the size, and they already have an automation in the place, then only they can work. So there's a very limited opportunity in that area.
Got it. Got it. Thanks. Thanks.
But I'll share the video with you if you need to see
Yes.
that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very interesting video. We have installed this system in Vapi, and it's very much in action, and it has got a very good results. Earlier, 4 people were been using to load that putty into the truck at the truck level. Now only 1 person, and without any efforts.
Got it. Yeah.
We have another question in the chat. So they're asking if someone is looking for large scale project, is there an option to do a small pilot first? And if yes, what is the timeline, typical timeline and costing for the same?
I believe I already answered in my first. The first question was also similar question where we are very open to do any large scale operations with POC, proof of concept, where we first understand and then give the solutions and do the small pilot project at their site with their process and demonstrate our strength, our solutions. And if it works and if it gives the desired results, then we scale up and make it large. And the charges can never be standard. It is all depends upon the, the challenge, the problem statement.
Thank you. Also, one more questions. What are some of the parameters that customers should consider to evaluate their conveying solutions, or which conveying solution they should select?
Conveyor solutions has a lot of facet which before selections or before even going for it, a customer should be very clear. First of all, do they really need, if they need it for what purpose? Whether they have manpower reduction or to speed up the process or to avoid the breakages or to reduce the breakage fatigue of the people or any other problem statement. So they should be very clear with their problem statement first, number 1. Number 2, there should be enough space because the conveyors, no matter it is small or big, it requires the space. So if the some I have seen some of the warehouses, they are so full, they do not have the space to so there the conveyor can't work efficiently. So you have to have the very organized structure where the space is the criteria. Then in the conventional warehouses, they do not have the enough power to run these conveyors, or there's no industrial environment where they can run the conveyor, because sometimes you might need a small maintenance, small wear and tear. So you have to have place where small facilities of wear and tear addressing is available, like nearby places, whatever. It should not be so interior that you don't get enough manpower or enough support to run this. And lastly, ROI. The most important is ROI. Unless it gives you a benefit in your current working and the proposed working, I would not suggest to go for the conveyors because you like it. Because liking is not recovering the money. So one has to recover the money in a defined time, and it is to be documented. So most of the customers are happy with us because whatever we say, we actually demonstrate and we prove it that it is happening within that time frame. And that's why they are repeating the process or repeating the projects, because they feel that this is very beneficial. So these are few things one has to consider while selections of any conveyor in any part of the process.
Thank you for that. We have another question from Pranav. He's asking, what is your target market as of now, whether it's the existing warehouses or that are facing problems, or are you also part of the designing phase of a greenfield warehouse?
Mostly we are into the both the space, as you rightly said. The second part is more good for us because then we can do much better work when the greenfield project is coming up, and if someone involves us, we are the happiest person because our value addition is very high. Because if the project has already been done and then you are just you're trying to do a course correction and trying to build something within the place, so it's not that planned activity as compared to the greenfield. So our first choice is to get engaged into the designing. Whenever someone designs at a greenfield level, we are the happiest person to get involved with architect and understand the requirement and suggest what are the things needed for automation now and in future. But no matter, because automation has come very quickly and very rapidly in the country. So most of the warehouses are already ready. So we can't say that, okay, within the made warehouses we will not do it. We will still do it. But that takes little more time and little more planning and little more paperwork, because we need to do in a running environment where the operation is already on and the space is already been occupied. So that's difficult but not impossible. Our 90% of the project is from existing places only. So we are happy with that, but we would love to do it at a greenfield. That was the most ideal situation.
Got it. Any other questions for anyone either in the chat, or you can unmute and ask? If there are no other questions, I guess we can close. Mr. Viresh, any last words from your end?
I hope this was useful to all my listeners, and please tell us in case any interesting area which you want to cover for the next session or in the future. We would love to do it. And that's all from me.
Thank you, Mr. Viresh, for giving us all your insights, and thank you for everyone who joined in and who asked the questions and made this interactive. We'll end here. Again, have a nice day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.